Leaders in several Caribbean countries have come even closer together when it comes to combating climate change. Oftentimes, small islands bear the brunt of climate change despite not contributing to the issue as much as larger countries. Our One Caribbean News' Deandra Hamilton reports from the Bahamas.
Governments of Caribbean countries agree they are paying too high a price for a problem not of their own making. And now a climate change meeting held last week in Nassau, Bahamas has brought a revived commitment and greater solidarity. And when 4 Caribbean prime ministers held a close-out press conference at the Baha Ma Resort, they announced what the funding should be and how paying for mitigation and rebuilding is stagnating human and infrastructural development.
And what we really should be seeking to raise is at least $1 trillion. But here's why. It's not just 30-40% of that should go to climate.
Mia Motley of Barbados has become globally acclaimed for her unapologetic stance. Roosevelt Skerritt, Prime Minister of Dominica, said the climate change crisis is not a government problem.
In the Caribbean, we leave this only to governments to fight. We need the unions, we need the churches, we need the media, we need the opposition parties, we need civil society. We need all of us to join forces with the government to fight because we're fighting for survival.
New Prime Minister of Grenada, Dacon Mitchell, is heartened after the 2-day meeting.
In our collective desire to advocate for ensuring that justice is done, I think the issue of climate change has gone beyond that of a moral issue, but it's a justiciable issue.
Bahamas Prime Minister and host Philip Davis informed a document will be formulated and vetted before it is presented at COP27, which is this year set in November in Egypt.
We just have to continue pushing to get those responsible to live up to the obligation.
Deandra Hamilton reporting.
Well, switching gears now, Governor Pedro Pierluisi and Housing Secretary William Rodriguez recently announced that they'll be holding a job fair in Orlando, Florida, in an effort to identify Puerto Rican professionals willing to join the workforce on the island. With 100 positions available, the job fair will be held this weekend, August 26th and 27th, on the University of Central Florida's campus. Some of the jobs available include a program technical assistant and housing program specialists. This fair will include orientation on the direct assistance to the buyer program so that potential candidates can learn about the opportunities that the housing department is also offering to acquire a residential property on the island. The job fair again taking place this Friday and Saturday in Orlando, Florida. Well, on Monday, Wyoming confirmed its first case of monkeypox, making it the final state to report the case of the disease on the U.S. mainland. In the meantime, also on Monday, Guyana became the latest CARICOM country to confirm a case of the monkeypox virus. Health officials say the patient, a man in his 50s, is hospitalized and in stable condition. Health Minister Dr. Frank Anthony said health authorities are conducting contact tracing and several people have since been quarantined.
We have, over the last weekend, had a case of suspected monkeypox. Clinically, the person had all the signs and symptoms of monkeypox, and we have been able to confirm that by using PCR to do the confirmatory diagnosis. So we now have our first case of monkeypox in Guyana, and we have since isolated the patient, so that patient is now in an isolated area at the Ocean View Hospital, and that patient is stable and is doing very well.
Well, more than 42,000 cases of monkeypox have been detected in 95 countries, including Barbados, Jamaica, the Bahamas, and Bermuda. The health minister said the government is working with the Pan American Health Organization to obtain test kits, as well as a supply of vaccines from the lone global manufacturer. Dr. Anthony said the emergence of Guyana's first case of monkeypox, Guyana has activated its response.
With this case, we are taking all the necessary measures And I want the public to know that we have diagnostic capabilities. We have our labs that are prepared. We have a lot of people who have been trained. Over the last couple of months, we have trained a number of physicians. We have trained a number of laboratory staff, just in case if we have cases, what to do.
Well, meantime, Cuba has confirmed its first case of monkeypox as well. The country's health ministry announced this on Saturday. The patient is an Italian tourist who arrived in Cuba August 15th. Officials say the man is in critical condition. They are studying other possible causes for the severity of his illness. The patient presented symptoms 2 days after his arrival. That's according to health officials. Well, meantime, monkeypox is just the latest public health emergency colleges and universities are facing as they welcome back students. So how are they trying to prevent the disease from spreading on campuses? Shamari Stone reports.
Students returning to college campuses around the nation, confronting a public health emergency. In D.C., George Washington University health officials say there have been less than 10 monkeypox confirmed cases at the college. And at Georgetown University, 2 cases.
So I'm definitely going to be sanitary with my roommate.
Some parents worry.
They're going to be very cautious. And since we know so little about monkeypox, we're just concerned.
D.C.'s Department of Health has already given out 18,000 vaccines over the summer. And officials are working on a new strategy to prevent the spread of the virus at colleges.
This is my dorm right here.
We are trying to make sure that some of these universities also have doses of vaccine available. So if there is a case, we can identify close contacts really immediately.
And in order to stretch the vaccine supply, health officials are using a new method of injection, inserting the needle at a shallow angle near the skin surface. The intradermal approach is said to spur a stronger immune reaction so that less of the vaccine is needed, allowing officials to split each dose into fifths.
It's going to be effective. The science clearly shows that the number of individuals that got subcutaneous versus the intradermal, their immunity levels are almost the same.
But New York Governor Kathy Hochul questions the strategy.
They subtracted down the number of vials. My argument is, give us the same number of vials and we can really have an effective approach here. But they don't have that luxury right now.
Well, meantime, the U.S. Border Patrol says more than 24 migrants from Cuba were taken into custody after landing in the Florida Keys over the weekend. The patrol says no injuries were reported. Among them, agents took a migrant into custody after he made landfall in Marathon on an inflatable kayak. Meanwhile, the U.S. Coast Guard reports more than 4,400 Cubans have been intercepted in October of 2021. Well, meantime, Italy's Coast Guard released footage of a 131-foot luxury yacht sinking in the Ionian Sea. The Coast Guard said they coordinated a rescue operation to try and tow and salvage this sinking yacht. Yes, scary images here that had been sailing off the southern coast of Italy. The yacht eventually sank about 9 nautical miles off the coast of Catanzaro, the Calabria region. It remains unclear why the ship sank, and the Coast Guard said an investigation is still underway. All the crew members and passengers aboard the yacht were rescued, the Coast Guard said.